Hey, it's Mr. Johns. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. We are continuing our route around the western U.S., just leaving Phoenix with a load of paint, passing this really cool barn here on the right. We're headed to San Diego, California, and our continued efforts to see as much of the country as we can by truck while making a living as a trucker. So we're going to speed it up just a bit here. I realize that this game is probably not the most exciting to make videos about. Most of it is highway and freeway driving. So I'm going to speed up through a lot of this. And it is a really cool game. I love the fact that it's so realistic, and the driving that you have to do uses real traffic, real lights, real laws, real signs. And so it's an opportunity for me just to drive and try to drive the best I can. Now, it's a game, so on occasion I have to do a few things that I would not normally do. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode, I believe it is, where I definitely have to do some things that aren't legal and not very smart. But this particular episode, pretty straightforward, just making a straight shot from Phoenix to San Diego to get this delivery done. So working on my following distance here, 3 seconds at least, as I'm just kind of cruising at night. And still using my Thrustmaster joystick instead of a steering wheel. I'm getting more and more used to it, and it's not too bad. Most of the roads are fairly straight, and getting so the steering wheel is a little bit smoother than it was. It's not so jerk with that left stick. So this is a pretty long job, just pulling into Yuma at this point, but no reason to stop. Everything looks good. I'm about halfway rested and a little more than half tank of gas, so we'll keep going. One thing, don't ever rely just on your GPS. Make sure you kind of know where you're headed and what towns that you should be going through. So GPS technology is not always 100% and has steered some people wrong in the past. And I know there have actually been some fatalities, people getting lost and either drowned, or they freeze to death, or they get stuck somewhere. So here's El Centro, California, discovered. So while I'm using that GPS, I'm really happy to have it. I also need to have in my mind the game plan and what this should look like, either on a real map or another online source, so I know what towns I'll be going through. And if this was real life, of course, you would know where you probably should stop for gas, where you should stop for lunch, maybe some breaks to get out and stretch, and then where your final destination is, and about how many miles that is and how long it should take. So here we're about an hour and 12 minutes out of our destination. 51 minutes. There is a way station here that I've got to pull into. It came in a little bit fast, and I had to back up just a touch here, but passed the inspection and on our way. Signal to pull back out into freeway traffic. One thing I love about the GPS is it does tell you whether you'll be continuing on in that lane or whether you need to be doing a lane change. And as a good driver, hey, here's San Diego discovered, so we're here. As a good driver, you're always looking ahead, about as far as you can, at least a couple city blocks, so you can really avoid a lot of problems. And here's an example of where I can see I'm supposed to be doing a right lane change, and so I signal, check my mirrors, look over my shoulder, and go if it's clear, and then cancel my signal. If I'm looking ahead, I can avoid a ton of problems, and that's real life driving skill that is good to pick up. I love this sign here on the side of the road. It says cold drink. So instead of advertising Pepsi or Coca-Cola or Sprite or Mountain Dew or whatever, they can't do that, or they don't want to spend the money. So it's just cold drink, which I think is hilarious. Hey, here's some police on the side of the road. Just a reminder, in Idaho, we do have the Idaho pullover law, and that means you are required to pull over to change lanes to the left if there is an emergency vehicle stopped doing its work on the side of the road, to give them space. So here we're just about, I think, 16 minutes out from our delivery spot. Coming into San Diego, I see the palm trees, and definitely has that feel of San Diego. A little overcast today, looks like, in San Diego, but still a nice 71 degrees, I believe, as we're pulling into town. And it's Friday pretty early in the morning. So there's downtown San Diego. And we can see our destination just up ahead off the freeway. So we'll take this exit here and take a right at the stop sign, top of the hill. Come to a complete stop just before the stop line. Check left, right, left for cross traffic, and go when it's clear. I love the fact that, again, they're not wanting to use big name brands. So Walmart is Walbert, which is super funny. And they're all over the place. You see them as the more you drive in this game, you see them everywhere, which is hilarious. All right, so here we are checking in. And when I can, I'm going to try the most advanced parking. If it's a fairly simple trailer that I've got, not some crazy, huge, long, articulated trailer, I will attempt the advanced to gain that experience. Those experience points. Those experience points are going to raise you up in experience levels. So, and I think right now I'm level 9, so I'm working towards level 10, and you just get more opportunities the higher you go up. Eventually, I'm hoping some of these jobs are going to pay huge, and they're going to be like really high risk, like nuclear stuff or, rockets, things like that, that would be really high value. So we just got to squeeze this between those two trucks. Not a lot of room for my truck, but I'm going to go as far as I can, and that was not a great setup at all. Should have done that differently, but I challenge myself every time I do these deliveries to do this more difficult parking, because I know the more I do it, the easier it'll get. But it's such a challenge to get that trailer to back the direction you want it to back. And it just takes practice. Just like in real life, just takes practice. It's actually harder in this game because I'm looking at it outside the cab, and I've mentioned that before. So everything's like opposite and then opposite again. So you would think that would just take it back to normal, but it's just weird. So everything's weird when you're backing up anyway, but once you get that figured out, it's pretty simple. But I've found that doing this game where I'm not sitting in the truck looking over my shoulder, maybe I should, but the visuals are so much easier this way when I'm looking straight down at the trailer and I can rotate around. But it just means I have to really think about it, which way I'm turning. Now here I'm jackknifing. That's just not good. Such a rookie move. So, I mean, once you get jackknifed, sometimes you're out of luck and you're stuck. But I can pretty much work my way around, I think, and push this thing back. I mean, I'm getting the trailer lined up, but my truck is not where it should be at all. And that's why this is, even though it seems like it should be an easy parking drop-off. Whoops, I hit the horn. I've got to change that because I'm constantly tapping the horn because it's pushing down on the left stick. on the joystick. So, and I do that a lot when I'm just maneuvering. So here we go. This is looking a lot better. That's what it should look like, lined up straight. And then all I have to do is carefully back it in and make sure the back end is going the direction, which is not that way, the other way. And eventually I'll get so I can just slide in and do this no problem almost every time. So that's all right. It's a good challenge, and it's experience points. And if I were not to do this, to drop the trailer would give me 0 experience points. And so it's worth it, the extra time. And I think on more challenging ones, I'll probably just skip it if I just think I have to. But here, we'll park it, take the XP, and move on. So paint has been delivered successfully. Excellent job completion, which is awesome. I'll catch you next time. But for now, Mr. Johns is out.